£1,000 Amanda Halterman, who plays the role of Sister's Star, has disclosed the identity of the man who brought up her and her brothers. Fans have long been curious in the dynamics of their family, particularly with regard to their father. Each of her siblings has a different father than the others. Still, they all refer to the same individual as their father. You can learn more by continuing to read. What holds the family together? When it comes to determining who is the family's glue, fans have varying opinions. Every single one of the siblings has been presented to the audience. Tammy, Amy, Chris, Amanda, and Misty are my friends. On the other hand, there have been a number of huge disagreements and blowouts that have the potential to change the dynamic inside the family. Over the years, Amanda has referred to herself as the glue. The supporters, on the other hand, have the impression that there are only two possible choices for what could be the glue. Either Chris or the show they believe is the culprit. Unrelenting debates are taking place. However, Chris appears to be the glue that holds everyone together. On the other hand, some people believe that they would be emotionally distant from one another if it weren't for the show. The man who they refer to as Dad is explanated by Amanda Halterman. The man that they refer to as their father has been identified by Amanda Halterman. The fans have been curious about this for quite some time. The man who is our father is not, according to our DNA, our father. Simply put, he is the same individual that my uncle worked for 35 years ago. In addition, we were in need of a secure location to spend the night, and all for the sake of reliving our childhood. My uncle took us there, and now, we bring our children there, and their children bring their children there. Our children bring their children. It wasn't until many years later that my father realized how much he needed us. You are aware of the fact that he took charge, and he is our father, not because he is required to be, but because he decided to be. The story was eventually told, and the fans were thrilled. They reassured Amanda in the comments that family does not have to be related by blood, and he is an incredible man for doing that. The person they refer to as their father appears to be their uncle's boss. While he was not required to, he took them in as his own. This father will always be remembered with gratitude by the siblings. Amanda divulged that they never miss an opportunity to spend time with him and promptly respond to his phone calls. Fans are crazy by the fact that they have this relationship with their father. People who watch the show are aware that it is not necessary to have blood in order to form a family. Regarding the narrative, what are your thoughts? Are you feeling a sweet taste? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. We are very interested in hearing your opinions. When we talk about the people who shape us, the ones who carve the pathways through which we grow, we often focus on the monumental figures, mothers, mentors, historical figures, and great influencers. But sometimes the most profound shaping comes not from those whose names are known across the world, but from the quiet, often unsung heroes who stand behind us, pushing us towards something more than we ever thought possible. For Amanda Halterman, the person who raised them wasn't just a father in the traditional sense. He wasn't the man society often celebrates as the patriarch, nor the kind of father the world at large might expect. He was someone whose impact transcended the usual boundaries. He shaped not just their upbringing, but the way they looked at the world, how they moved through it, and how they understood themselves. He was a man of few words, but his actions spoke louder than anything 1,000 speeches could convey. The foundation of a life. The man who raised Amanda Halterman was not perfect, nor was he without his own flaws and contradictions. But it was precisely these imperfections that made him remarkable, because he was always trying to be better, trying to do more, and trying to show that despite the world's complexities, the simplest things were often the most important. From the outside, he might not have appeared extraordinary. He wasn't a celebrity, a political figure, or even a renowned community leader. But to Amanda, he was everything. Amanda remembers a home full of the soft hum of tools and the sharp scent of freshly cut wood, the scent of a man whose life had always been built on craftsmanship and precision. This man, their father, had a quiet strength that came from doing. He wasn't the kind of person who would have chosen to sit down and share grand, poetic truths. No, his truth was lived. It was in the steady rhythm of his hands as he worked, in the way he approached every task, no matter how small, with a sense of purpose. There were no grandiose speeches or moments of awe-striking revelation. It was in the small moments, the ones that might have been dismissed by others as insignificant, where Amanda first saw the kind of man their father was. A man of discipline and integrity. One of the first lessons Amanda learned from the man who raised them was the value of hard work. It wasn't about the result, necessarily, but the effort, the integrity with which it was done. Whether it was tending to the garden in the early morning hours or staying up late into the night repairing something broken, he never cut corners. There was no such thing as good enough in his world. As a young child, Amanda sometimes found this frustrating. Why did it matter so much to him if the lawn was perfectly trimmed or the sink was repaired with care? Why couldn't they just leave things as they were or take shortcuts to finish faster? It wasn't until years later, when Amanda ventured into adulthood and began to navigate a world that often favored expediency over quality, that the lessons began to take root. In every part of life, the man who raised them had shown them that how something was done was just as important, if not more so, than what was being done. Amanda's father was also a man of his word. When he said something, it was as good as done. Promises were not made lightly in their household, and Amanda learned the importance of integrity from watching him, day in and day out, live with an unwavering sense of accountability. He wasn't flashy or dramatic about it, he simply did what he said he would do, and he expected the same from his children. The power of silence. The man who raised Amanda didn't speak much. In fact, there were times when his silence seemed to fill the room more powerfully than anything he could have said aloud. Amanda often found themselves contemplating his words, or the lack of them, long after they had spoken. There were lessons in silence, they learned. In his quiet moments, whether spent lost in a book, mending something with his hands, or simply staring out of the window, he was teaching them to reflect, to observe the world without rushing to fill it with noise. It was through this quiet that Amanda learned the art of patience. Sometimes, the best thing to do was nothing. Sometimes the best solution to a problem wasn't to act hastily, but to wait, listen, and give the situation the time it needed to reveal itself. Even in his calmest moments, he had a way of making them feel heard. Though he rarely asked how their day had gone, when he did, his interest was palpable. It wasn't a passing query, it was genuine curiosity about the world they were moving through. And it was in these moments that Amanda realized how much the world could change just by being seen. Teaching without words, Amanda reflects on how their father taught by example, always leading without imposing. It wasn't about dictating every step, rather, it was about showing them how to walk the path with dignity, honor, and patience. As a child, Amanda often found themselves puzzled by the way their father approached challenges. He wasn't the kind of man who would complain or voice his frustrations. Instead, he would quietly approach problems, assess them from every angle, and then act decisively. Amanda learned that life wasn't about making a spectacle of hardship, it was about quietly persevering, doing the work that needed to be done, and trusting that the results would follow. There were times when Amanda thought they would never live up to the quiet standards their father had set. His discipline, his ability to stay calm in the face of adversity, his unwavering sense of responsibility, all of these things seemed impossible to achieve. But over time, the seeds he planted took root. Amanda began to understand that it wasn't about trying to be exactly like him, it was about finding the best version of themselves and applying those same principles. Through his example, Amanda learned to see value in every task, no matter how small. Whether it was helping fix the leaky faucet or sitting with a friend through a difficult moment, everything had its place, and nothing was too insignificant to merit care and attention. Tough love and encouragement. Though their father wasn't overtly affectionate in the way many people might expect from a parental figure, Amanda learned the meaning of tough love through their interactions. He wasn't someone who would shower them with praise or attempt to shield them from failure. In fact, he believed that failure wasn't the enemy, it was part of the process. As a teenager, Amanda often sought approval, not fully understanding that their father's way of showing care was not through accolades, but through pushing them to grow. He wouldn't praise a half-finished effort, he would challenge them to do better, to push through the discomfort, and to take responsibility for their own growth. Looking back, Amanda understands that this wasn't harshness, it was a kind of love that was built on respect. He believed in them enough to push them past their comfort zones, to show them that they were capable of much more than they realized. The legacy of a silent teacher. Now, as an adult, Amanda looks back at the man who raised them and sees not just a father, but a teacher, a guide, and a quiet force that shaped the trajectory of their life. They understand now that his greatest gift wasn't in teaching them how to fix a broken fence or how to handle money, it was in teaching them how to carry themselves in the world. He didn't raise them to be just another cog in the machine. He raised them to be thoughtful, deliberate individuals who understood the value of hard work, integrity, and self-reflection. Amanda realized that the man who raised them didn't just teach them how to live, they taught them how to love. Not through grand declarations, but through the small, steady ways he showed up every day. His love was not in words, but in actions. It was in the steady rhythm of his work, the way he cared for his family, and the respect he showed others. Now, as Amanda navigates their own journey, they carry with them the lessons their father imparted. In every moment of difficulty, they can feel his quiet presence, guiding them to approach life with care and thoughtfulness. The man who raised Amanda Halterman may never have sought accolades or public recognition for his efforts. But Amanda knows, deep in their heart, that his influence has been as profound as any. For he raised not just a child, but a person who understands the importance of living quietly, thoughtfully, and with purpose. And in that, he gave them everything they needed.